the hollow chisel Mortiser. Now, I've had this machine for several years now. I used to use it a lot. Then I got myself a domino dowler, so I can't use that most of the time now. But what it does is it drills a square hole. Alright? A square hole. Alright? Different size square holes. And out about 3/4, probably about its maximum. Which is what this is, about 20mm, 80mm. And it's a very useful tool. Now, it doesn't get used as much as it used to be used, but this particular one by Axminster is a little bit special, because it doesn't just go up and down. You can actually do it as a compound as well. The whole back arm here, or column, it will tilt. You can tilt it and lock it off, so you do different angles if you want. It's just pretty good, and most of them don't do that. Now, it's a fairly hefty machine, but if you can get hold of an old Multico one or something like that, they're even better, you know. They're really solid things, they are. But this is still, it's a good machine. And it's quite affordable. You know, you get to pick these up second hand quite cheaply. Now, the thing is, though, you need to know how to set them up. Now, I recently restored this, which I think I did in a live stream, actually. This machine, and I had that whole thing apart, and I did all the dovetail slides and the shim plates and stuff like that, just to get the whole thing really, really tight, and so so there's no movement in it. Now, if you are considering buying one of these, what you ought to do is get the head like so, and if there's any movement in that head, don't worry, it's the stand moving. If there's any movement in that head, because of wheels, you think something, can I adjust it? If you pick one up and there's no adjustment in, you avoid it. Okay, just don't bother with it. Now, there's some cheaper ones out there. Record made some as well. It's quite basic machines that effectively just have a clamp here, but there's no carriage. Like this has got this nice little carriage, so you can easily do a long mortise. And you've got your stops here as well. I'll show you how to use them in a moment. But this is a very usable machine, alright? Now, I have got a box of brand new flipping cutters there somewhere, for which I've mislaid. I don't know where they are. And what they're like is that you've got this, this is an old one, but you have a square chisel, like so, hence the hollow chisel, alright, which basically cleans the corners from a drilled hole to make it into a square hole. So the concept is actually quite simple. Yeah, they're quite buggered to sharpen and use a special conical grind. It's like how to put it. It's like an ice cream cone, right? And you just basically you put it in a drill, and you can then sharpen the inside flanks of the actual chisel portion, the square chisel. Now, I'll show you that, but like I say, that's in the actual box with all the other stuff. So I can't have mislaid it. I don't know what I've done with it. So that's basically it. So it's fairly easy to sharpen. It's not easy to sharpen. No, that's not quite true. Because you don't just sharpen that, but you have to flatten and hone the outside faces as well. Because that there is wider than it is there. Otherwise it'd grip like hell. Now, they can grip still and pull up as you make your mortise. Now, I've got this piece of wood here, which I'll start to make that mortise. And what can happen is if the clamp is on the weak side, and some of them don't have very good clamps either. They have like two. What's that? I heard a weird noise. I was a cow. Anyway, like two prongs like that hold the wood down, and it just makes everything a faff, because what you've got to do is you've got to keep moving the piece of wood over manually, and it's not very accurate, and you can get a bit of sideways drift. Now, this one, you can literally do it like this. So if I want to drill my mortise, I've got the first one down here, and I'll put the stop to wherever I want it to be. On the back here, there, you see, that's the depth, right? You see what's happening? It's pulling it up, because I haven't set it tight enough. So if you haven't got a good clamping arrangement there, you're going to have that problem. And yes, you could use G-clamps or what have you, or F-clamps, to try and hold it all down into place. But then every time you want to move along, you've got to unclamp it all. Yes, it's probably quicker than using a chisel, still, but you're talking about a fair bit of expense to achieve not a lot. You might as well just get a chisel, you know. But with this one, say for instance, I want to come from the start second. If I want to set my starting point is there, alright, I can actually set these on these stops on the back here and tighten that one up there. And if I want to go, say for instance, there is some measures that, some rules that go on the back, but I haven't put them back on yet. I never really used them anyway, they're just a bit pointless really. If we get a measure, tape measure, like this one, you can then say, okay, I want 2-inch mortise or something. Oh no. Okay, it'll be from there to there, and then you set that stop there. So then the space between both sides is 50mm, 2 inches. So I need to set this a bit tighter. There you go, that's better. Right, so now when I make my mortars, that's my first, okay? There isn't anything on that side because that's where I started. And now I can carry on going that way to the left, opposite direction, creating my mortars until I can't go any further and stop there. And now I've created a 2-inch or 50mm long mortars set at whatever depth I set it on there, which could be whatever you want it to be. And it's, as you saw, that was really quick and easy to do, knock your crap out of there. I didn't set the depth properly, but so then you end up with a square mortars. If you want to, you can clean it up with a chisel as well if you want to, but most of the work has been done for you. So it is a good machine, but like I said, they have to be set up well. Now, one thing you have to make sure you've got your the chisel in the correct position and orientation, okay? And how you do that is, I'll take this one out so I can then show you. So, removing the Allen screw hole, and now it's released the actual, that portion, the actual chisel, hollow chisel, there, okay? And now I've got to release the drill bit from the chuck, because inside there we have a chuck, just like a big drill chuck. Can you see that? I think you can. Yeah, drill chuck. So we use the Allen key, and then we can release the actual drill bit itself. Now it should all come out like so, right? Now this was in reasonable condition. Could probably do it with sharpening, that's not too bad. Well, yeah. But anyway, that is the hollow chisel I showed you a moment ago, and the drill bit, the one we've just been using. And although it did have all this like titanium sort of whatever it is, gold plating on it, which is pointless, it doesn't really do anything, to be honest. Now, when you set these back in there, you don't want to have it so tight in there so it's resisting. It needs to be only just touching, okay? So it's, so literally just maybe a little bit of friction or hardly any at all. You don't want it to obviously stick it out like that because there'll be no support for the end of the drill, right? Because it requires the shoulders of the actual square chisel to actually support the end of the drill. It's like a little auger drill, let's see. So it's a clever little arrangement. Now, especially if you've got a more of a budget hollow chisel mortiser, don't attempt to use chisels like that. Okay, they get stuck and you get them out again for a start, and it's too much load on the machine. You'll find it quicker to do multiple passes because you only go up and down. You see, you'll be using a little 10mm like that one or 3/8, and it's quicker. So sometimes less is more. You know what I mean? Eh? So anyway, installing the actual hollow chisel mortise, hollow chisel and auger into the machine, let's face them, all you do is basically push this back into, the drill back into the chuck. You might have to, there you go, that's in, the drill's in. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is set the drill, because once you've done that, set the drill, tighten up the chuck. Once you've done that, it will actually hold the rest of it in place. There's 2 axes, one on either side. Now some of these machines are all open at this point here. This one's a bit more awkward because it's got sort of closed off, all behind these little doors. There you go, that one there. That's it, that's tight. Right, now the actual chisel itself is, okay, I could have done a bit higher than that. Let's loosen it again. Let's push that up more. Why didn't that go up higher? You want to go up higher? There, that's it. As high as it goes. Right, so the auger's tight in the chuck, like so. Put the chuck key so we don't lose it. And now we have this. Shut them up there. We've got these this hollow chisel here, and it's twisting, as you see. So obviously that's no good like that. So we've got a Allen key here, Allen screw here, which we've got to tighten up. But the thing is, you've got to make sure it's. These dogs, it's treats, you see. That's what it is. Oh, Wally. Oh, dear me. Dogs, eh? Dogs. There you go, Wally. Oh, God, they're useless. I can't even find them. Oh, now I've got another one coming in. Oh, blimey. How do I look? Bear with us. Right. Now go away. Not you. Anyway, so we've got to secure that. But we can't just secure it any old how, because obviously if it's, you know, if it's skew it's not going to be any good, is it? So what we do is, we bring that out of the way. Now you can use a piece of wood if you like, if you're a bit nervous of making it blunt. Like so, and then bring it right over, so nothing, you know, hopefully, well, actually you can't get, oh, hang on, move that one out of the way. There you go. So bring it right over, so it can't fall on top of the actual metal, so you don't end up blunting it. And then bring that back, right, so it's in front of your piece of wood, just like so, alright, and then what you do is, you then bring the carriage to the actual, yeah, there you go, to the hollow chisel, right, so now it's actually in its correct position. I need to bring it down, make sure I bring it down though, so it sits just slightly above the auger. We don't want it touching the auger, really, just shy of it, and that's whisker. So now we can tighten up that grub screw. Grub screw, oh my God, I'll get my worms out in a minute. Oh dear. Struggling a bit today. Right, so now we can pull that out of the way on the old carriage, and put that back up like so. So now it's back in its correct position, and it's parallel with the fence. Anyway, that's how I do it anyway, and it seems a logical way to do it. So, there you go, bring it back over that way, like so, centralise it. So the things you've got to watch out for though, right? Obviously, you want to make sure it has, be fairly heavyweight, you know, a fairly solid machine. You also want to make sure that you've got, if you've got one with a gas strut like this one, right, that it stays up and doesn't keep flopping down. Some of them have a big spring. I think the record one's just got a big spring. This one's on a gas strut, which is on the other side here. Now, if you look on here though, we can go around a little bit, so there we go. We have this dovetail slide here on this particular machine. They're not all the same. And on this side, there's nothing there, right? But on the other side, if I can spin it right round, I don't know if I can, there we go. I've got stuff all over the floor. Oh, yeah, they're on this side. I suppose I could move the camera. That might make more sense moving the camera, really, mightn't it? You see here, behind the handle, we have 1, 2, 3. So there's a lock, and then there's 2 adjusting screws here with these little lock nuts on as well. Now, between the dovetail, you've got this. So you've got this dovetail, and then you obviously got the actual construction here where it slots into. There's a piece of iron. There's like a spacer in here, and if it wasn't for these, it'd fall out. It's just like a flat piece. It's angled actually, but that is how you adjust it to the column. Otherwise, let's take it rid of any slop in here by adjusting those. So that's something we'll look out for. If you've got any slop, can you adjust it? Is it still in good enough condition to adjust? Is it all seized up, in other words? So, and then obviously this here is the gas strut. Now mine actually went, alright? And the gas strut, they wanted to pay, it was over £100. for flipping gas strut for this machine. I thought, no, I'm paying that. So I just got one for I think it's actually for a tractor window. And I had to make an adjuster plate up top there just to extend to get it in the right place. But, you know, that's what I do. So anyway, it worked. It cost 15 quid. You've got to be ingenuitive sometimes, don't you? So on the back here we have the facility I was mentioning earlier. I'm not... no, I haven't got loose at the moment. This whole thing can tilt. So you can do your compound... your compound mortises. Right? On the carriage itself, at the bottom here, if I bring it down a little bit, you can see on this carriage arrangement here, yes, I lost broke my handle. We've got the same arrangement with the dovetail slide as we have on the column, and that also has a plate which is on the other side. Yes, on the other there. On the other side, there's a plate there, and then you can adjust that as well. So everything has got adjustment in it. You see, it works really well. This machine, you know, it's a good machine. It really is. Oh, he's still down there. Come back. So, do I recommend buying one? I would say only if you've got a real use for one. Do I recommend some of those little tiny ones you can get, like the records? No, I don't. I really don't. They're more of a hobby machine, really. You know, they're not going to... You might... If you're doing it for a hobby, learn how to use a chisel, that's what I'd say, you know. And just use an auger bit to drill out your waste and then clean up with a chisel. And learn how to do it. There's so many techniques you can do where you can really quickly clean out a mortise with a chisel and make it easy for yourself. You know, so obviously you've got to learn how to sharpen, but then you've got to learn how to sharpen these things. So for me, personally, I only use it on a rare occasion now. Because if I'm doing any construction work where I do mortise and tenons and stuff, other than for the channel itself, I would be doing them using... Well, I just use the Chisel domino dowler because it's so flipping quick if I want to put something together, you know, in a hurry. Otherwise I might use this, or I might cut them by hand, you know. And on this particular machine, the actual handle itself is quite a clever arrangement. You pull this out, so it's a dog paw, and then you can bring it down, and then you can bring it down further if you want, because obviously there's limited range. And you get quite a bit of leverage on there, but you don't really want to be doing that. You know, you yank it down. If you've got to do that, put a smaller hollow chisel in. You know, I've seen people put the biggest one in they possibly can, think it's the best idea, and it's not. Because you see, the thing is, once you've created the first mortise, if you're making a bigger mortise than the size of your chisel, you've got free space around it, and it can clear the crap out easier. You know, all the shippings and stuff, it's less likely to get jammed, because they get hot, you see, and they can expand a little bit in the mortise, and if it's tight on both sides, it's more likely to be an issue. And then try and pull the wood out of the clamp, and it can still happen. Can still pull the wood out of the clamp. And most of the mortises I do are generally in oak, so it's quite hard going if you're using a large mortise chisel like this one, whole chisel mortise like that one, with his auger bit. You know, it's a lot of load on the machine and a lot of load on you. Sometimes it's not worth putting a too big a chisel into the machine. Anyway, that is my Axminster. This is the AW19FTH floor tilt head mortiser. I don't think you can get them anymore. You know, you can get mortises, but I don't think you get the tilt head. I think they're quite rare now. Crikey, where are you going? Come back. Anyway, please hit the like button, and maybe subscribe to the channel, and maybe the little bell icon, because then you get one fussy feeling in your pocket every time I upload another video. Blimey, what a mess. Toodaloo.